Hi everyone. I decided to do another video on Kundalini today for a reason that is very potent in my life at the moment, but I also sense and see around me that it's not only potent in my life at the moment, but there are a lot of people grasping in the dark about what is happening to them. So I want to share my experience about today, specifically about how to survive a Kundalini purge, because they can be so brutal and so demanding and volatile. Kundalini is basically cleaning your pipeline, the pipeline of the spine. And this morning I had another purge. And the moment Kundalini starts pushing and starts in which the body starts purging, a lot of things arise inside of me. My mind's starting to go haywire. A lot of anxious thought, obsessive thinking. That's a very clear sign that I'm in the midst of purging, because there are all this old shadow frequencies that are being pushed outwards to consciousness. And this morning it was not even my own. It was, I felt the fear of my grandmother, of my mother's side, a lot of hopelessness, a lot of anxiety. My mother has it also inside of her system, so it gets transferred. And I felt her so deeply, and the moment it starts, I need to get very conscious about what's happening, because if I don't take a step back, I will identify completely with what is arising, and I will start, it becomes so heavy, because it becomes draining, it's becoming too much to handle. So I have had to learn to detach from my thoughts and my emotions in a way to be able to observe them, to not completely get dragged with them. And I honestly don't always manage. Sometimes I'm getting dragged and it takes a while before I find presence again in this whole purge. So that is one of the symptoms I feel. So my mind goes haywire, my heart starts pumping, I'm starting to sweat. Of course, energy is very high, so it feels like this high voltage electricity running through my whole body. So yeah, this morning I sat with some panic attacks and intrusive thoughts, wanting to take control about what I don't know. You know, it's the ego that thinks that it needs to do. You know, there is something being pushed outwards, and it feels so real. From the ego point of view, that the ego thinks it's in complete danger, so it needs to act. So learning to feel through this is very important for me. Learning to not fight the anxiety, not fight the panic attacks, but give them so much space, give them so much space, bow to it, bow to it, bow to it. Because if I don't, it will starting to get louder and louder and louder, and things will become harder and harder and harder, to a point in the past I have completely exhausted myself over and over again, because I couldn't let it be. I couldn't let the panic attacks be. I couldn't let the anxiety be. I couldn't let the trauma be. And when this starts integrating, there is also these swings of sometimes I hardly eat anything, and today I'm like this monster that cannot get enough food. So, and I'm just going with it because I experienced this already for years now. There are these moments where I'm eating tremendous amounts of food. um, Sometimes really people ask me where do you leave all all of it, but my body is perfectly capable of needing this intake through transmute, but needs to be transmuted. The moment when we're in the Kundalini purge, I also experience that there can be a lack of trust in the process. So for me, it is not so much the emotions that are my biggest hurdle, but it is the mind, learning to let the mind go haywire completely. Like, you know, horses um, that get frightened by lightning or by a storm, and they start running, and they don't stop running, and that's what's happening to the mind. The mind gets afraid and it starts running big time. And for me, it has been a big challenge to let the mind go, you know, just run. I'm already I've shared this multiple times with you guys that my life is becoming more hermit mode each year. Some people say we'll go to a Kundalini, and that's also a thing. Huh? There are people who talk about as if they have the whole process behind their backs. It is ridiculous, because you will never have the whole process behind your back. There are only so few people who really completed the whole Kundalini push through until the petals on your the top of your head open, the lotus opens. You know, there are so little souls who have completed the complete activation of Kundalini. So don't feel like you are doing something wrong because you are dealing with it for 10 plus years. It is very normal when people start, when Shakti starts visiting you, um, that 10 plus years are not strange. I'm now in this Kundalini experience for 10 plus years. Before I was already awakening. It's different. It doesn't have that ferociousness as when Kundalini starts calling the shots. So it has been going on now for 10 years, and the last push, I already told you in the last video, was in March, and it pushed through my heart chakra. Before it pushed through my first, second, third, but now it really pushed through here, and even higher. But I still feel I'm not there yet. There is still I don't even want to think about when the third big push is coming. That is not up to me. It's up to Kundalini. It's up to I'm not messing with it. I'm not. There is enough to there's enough to just let go of in the present moment. So I'm not going with my mind like, oh, when or when. No, it's just I start trusting more and more, I will not say all the time, but I'm starting to trust more and more in divine timing. And I will start trusting the intelligence of Shakti more and more. As I'm saying this, my ego is like, no, don't do that, because I need control. I need control. So that's how powerful the ego is. It just doesn't want to go. It wants to remain in the knowing. It wants to know what is happening. It wants to experience the same experiences every day, even though it's fucking crap, and you have unsatisfying life and relationships and anything. But it doesn't matter for the ego, because for the ego it's known. So it's okay, it stinks, but at least I'm familiar with it. That's what the ego wants. My essence doesn't want that anymore. So I believe I chose for this in this lifetime. But I think, as a lot of you can affirm, people who are going through a Kundalini awakening, it just breaks down everything in your life. The first push I needed to let go of my identity, I really got jolted outside of society. That was 10 years ago. I had my own practice. I was inside, functioning in the matrix, so to say, already waking up but still functioning in the matrix. And then 10 years ago I got just completely jolted, and since then it has been an ongoing onslaught of integration, purging, integration, purging. It's been crazy. I'm not lying if I'm saying to you guys that I have been going through this intense awakening, and I mean intense, for 10 years straight. Before I was awakening, and I had some space to, to have a social life, to do some work, but I already minimized it to the minimum, because I already felt I need space for my spiritual work. I worked, I started working half the hours I did. But the past 10 years, it has been all, but I mean all, everything, all my energy went inside, everything. And the past 10 years, I have been in a relationship, so I cannot say, okay, that everything went through a spiritual awakening. But if I'm honest with myself, and I also had these conversations with the partners I had who meant a lot to me when I was in a relationship, I talked about this. I couldn't be the partner that I wanted to be for them, because there was so much energy going to my spiritual work, to meditation. Um, Sometimes I really had to laugh. My wife, where I was married to, at one point I started meditating more and more, because I just felt there was just so much going on. And she's a Pakistani woman, so she comes from Pakistan, and when she saw me sitting there, and she would seduce me standing naked in front of me, and she would sing that song Swami, and with that she was just taunting me, like, oh my god, I cannot get you out of this. I just want to be intimate with you. I want to have sex with you, but I didn't have energy for it. I could only be with myself. So, and not only in an intimate way, but also going to social gatherings, and I couldn't do it. New Year's Eve, I went to bed at 10 o'clock. And then she sat there like, okay, I just want to have fun. And I guess, no, I'm not guessing. We weren't right for each other, because she is meant to live a very worldly life, so to say. I already knew that also about myself, that I wasn't meant to live like that, but I wasn't still in acceptance of it. So I pushed myself when I was married to her to I stretched myself, spread myself thin so much big time, where I did myself short, but I also did her short. And after that, I came into another relationship. She had 2 children, and I couldn't be there. I couldn't. I was any time where I had the chance, I would sneak out of the family dynamic, and I went up to a room to be in stillness, or I would go out in nature, be in stillness, or if they want. If we would have family gatherings like playing games together, a board game or whatever, it was exhausting to me. I felt I needed, that was not what I was needing. I was so much more and more being directed towards solitude, towards silence. So the past 10 years have been hardly about anything other than inner transmutation. And for me, a lot of grief came with that. I wasn't bowing for Shakti still. I was resentful. I didn't want to experience what I was experiencing. I wanted to be in life. I wanted to be a family. I wanted to do the things other people were doing. And that fighting ended in March when I got my second big push. Not immediately, of course, because I went through hell, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, panic attacks, crying my eyeballs out, so much grief coming up. But as I'm integrating this last push more and more, I think I'm a very stubborn woman. After 10 years, I can say I'm respecting her. I'm respecting Shakti with an awe. It goes deep. I feel her power. I feel her intelligence. And also sense of thinking, just a common sense that there is no fighting this. There is no fighting this, because I come out of this completely debilitated, completely devastated if I do. So at the moment, I don't know anything about my life. Nothing. The only thing I know is that I need to bow, and that I live day by day, and sometimes I live even hour by hour, because Kundalini is directing my life completely. Yeah, I leave you guys with this. I hope you have some recognition in what I have been sharing, and I'm proud of the souls who have been initiating by Kundalini, who are going through Kundalini awakening. And be proud of yourself, and much love.